I think I'm live. Sorry, I'm on my laptop. It just freaked out on me. So comment. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. I'm gonna go live on Instagram too. Just comment. Let me know that you're here. Sorry, I'm trying to eat. Do 1,000 things at one time. All right. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. You can hear me. You can see me. Let me know. I'm eating my chicken. Don't mind me. All right. Perfect. So we're live both on Instagram and on YouTube. Awesome. I'm just trying to stick some food in my face while I'm waiting for you guys to get on. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. All right. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. If you're logging on Instagram, cool. I'm also live on YouTube. I'm excited for this live too. Now, fair warning, I'm live on Instagram on my phone. I'm live on YouTube on my laptop. My laptop mouse is very, very touchy and sensitive. So if I pop between screens and stuff, I'm sorry. It has a mind of its own sometimes. All right. Let's see. So, first thing I want to do, if you guys haven't done it already, as we're getting into this, go ahead and get on to NPC News and look up the rules of this new division. Okay. They have the criteria and the rules all there. We are going to be talking and discussing Fit Model division that's brand new. I am super, super excited about this particular division. This is how I started right here. So there we go. We're in from. Oh, yeah, that's true. Since everybody's on here, make sure that you say where you're from. We got a lot of people logging on both between Instagram and YouTube. So again, I wanted to give it a few minutes. Everybody has a chance to get on here. What am I gonna do here? Let's see if I can get this to work. So again, bear with me because I'm usually on my computer. I am on my laptop right now. I want to pull up the rules first, and then we'll go through questions and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that. Got the Fit Model division right here. And they are using Ashley Kaltwasser as your, we got South Carolina. Ashley Kaltwasser, when she won the Olympia in 2015, is your example, your standard. Okay. So we're going to share that. There we go. Now, I'm not going to go bullet point by bullet point here for the rules. You guys can do that. You can read, right? So, I don't want to go through all of that. But I don't actually, so I'm seeing questions coming in about being confused and things like that. It really is not that confusing. It's pretty straightforward as far as what this is going to be rewarding. They are essentially taking it back to the bikini look of 2015. So bikini started in 2009. Okay, so bikini started in 2009. So the 2015 look was already the bikini division evolved into what they wanted to see bikini become. That's when Ashley won one of her titles. That was the year that Angelica actually started, and she was dead last in that particular Olympia, and then she came back the next year and won it. So I believe it was 2017 when she won it. Or sorry, 2016. But essentially what they are looking for is they're looking for the exact same bikini body that we see now, same shapes, all of that, different posing, different conditioning, different level of muscle. So the reason why I bring this up is because everybody's freaking out saying that this is, disrespectful of bodybuilding and blah, 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 blah. This is where every bikini girl started. Like if you look at the first call out from the 2015 Olympia, you've got Ashley Callas, you've got Janet Leog, you've got Courtney King. They all won Olympia titles. They were in the first call out at the 2015 Olympia, right? So this is still an athletic physique. Okay. But the difference is that they are just not as muscular and they're not as conditioned as the current bikini crop of today. Now, the reason why I'm excited about this particular division is it's a very attractive, healthy look, right? This is where I started in bikini myself, right? It's great for people that are athletic, that want to push themselves a little bit harder. The first thing that I saw as soon as that announcement was made was I had a half dozen of my lifestyle clients say, "Can I compete in this division?" Yes, you can. Okay. This is for that person that wants to push themselves a little bit harder and get themselves on stage. You have to remember that Ashley Kaltwasser was a D1 track athlete before she was ever in bodybuilding. She was already an athlete. She was not just some random chick on the beach that picked up a weight one day and decided to go on stage. That's not how this was put together. This was put together to showcase athletes. Okay. This is a very athletic look. This is where girls can start in the sport. And then if they decide that they want to move past this and move up to bikini, move up to figure, move up to, wellness, move up to women's, whatever, they can do that. Right. But the problem that we have currently without the fit model bikini division, or sorry, without the fit model division is they have to start in bikini. And in order to be competitive in bikini, you have to have been training for bikini for a good 3 to 5 years before you can even be competitive. Okay. So this 2015 look of Ashley Kaltwasser, a girl can be lifting for a year or so and get on stage and see if she likes it. See if she wants to keep going. See if she wants to keep pursuing bodybuilding. That's why I started. I started in this look. Like my ideal look back in the day was figure, which was similar to this, which was your Jamie Eastons of the world. It was your Ava Cowens. It was your Aaron Stearns. That was the look that I loved. Some abs, a little bit of glutes, all that kind of stuff. Not extreme conditioning. I've said this 1,000 times. I said the biggest thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the female divisions is the conditioning. I say, like, put the muscle on. Yeah, go for it, But when we're talking about conditioning for women, it's a whole lot harder for a woman to get that conditioned, right? So we are going back to a look that is healthy, that is round, that is full, and that can be built upon. Okay. If you want to stay in this division, you can. If you want to build up, you can. That's the beautiful thing about it, but it gives you the opportunity to get on stage and see if you even like it in the first place. Right? There's a lot of girls that build for 3, 4, 5 years before they can even step on stage, and then they may hate it. Like, could you imagine working for something for 5 years and then you get on stage and you don't want to do it again? Right? This gives you the opportunity to do this prior to. Okay. Um, and again, it's one of those things too. One of the things I'm really excited about is when we did this in 2015, we didn't have the knowledge of the female body like we have today. It's come so far when it comes to macros, training, all that stuff. We have so much more knowledge 10 years later that this is going to be so much healthier for people. This is going to be so much healthier for girls to achieve and maintain, right? Girls are going to be able to maintain this look and look good year round and feel great year round. If they want to push themselves to other divisions, they can. But this is a great way to start. It's a great way to start, right? So we've been talking the certain division should remain natural. No, there's no talks about naturals or anything like that when it comes to this particular division. But Ashley Caldwell has been very uh, upfront saying she was natural and she won her Olympia titles. She was natural when she won her Olympia titles, and 2015 was one of them. So this is a 100% achievable physique naturally. Okay. Is great. It's entry level because then the natural progression is outgrowing fit model and then moving up. Yes, and then also I want to bring up my own personal view on this, right? You guys have heard me talk about this 1,000 times. Genetically, I am never going to have those round bubbly glutes like an Ashley Kaltwasser. I just am not built like that. You know, for somebody like me who's 5'9" and has to put on an extra 50 pounds over some of the girls that are on stage, this division is easier for me and my genetic makeup to do, even with a ton of muscle on my frame. I'm thinking about switching, just being real. I know my glutes are never going to look like Ashley Kaltwasser's, right? So I'm thinking about switching over. It gives us a place to go and be competitive. It gives us something to look for. It gives us something to strive for. It gives us something to achieve when we don't genetically fit into these divisions, regardless of how hard we work. I said it so many times. I could do off season upon off season upon off season. I'm still never gonna have those glutes. I'm just not, right? I know that. I know that. Okay. Let me see if I can see some of these comments that came in. I had a ton of questions that came in, so I'm going to try and go through those. Um, let's see here, because they were really good questions. I just want to address all of those. Okay, so I think we're good. And you guys can type in questions here in the comments too. Feel free. Um, okay, I'm going to stop sharing this for right now. Okay, there we go. And let me pull up, see if we can pull up these questions that were sent in. Okie doke. There's just a ton of questions. Let me see. Do I think some already pros will or can move to this division? Yes, I do. I just said it myself. I personally will likely move to this division. Now, this brings up another point. Pros will not be competing in this division until 2026. Okay. This is not available in the Pro League until 2026. I believe there's a few reasons for that. They got to get competitors into it. That's the first thing. They have to flush out the criteria. It's going to take a bunch of shows to be able to do that. I don't know if they're going to have it on the national level so that it's a pro qualifier in 2025. Likely not. They typically don't when it's a brand new division, they're typically not going to put it into pro qualifiers the first year. So 2026 is likely going to be girls that are already pros wanting to switch over, and then they're going to start adding new pros in 2026, right? So I saw some chatter about this too. Like, are some people going to try and do the fit model division in order to make it easier for them to get to the pro league and win a pro card? That's not really possible. First of all, because I don't think they're going to give pro cards out this year. I don't think they're going to give pro cards out in 2025. And beyond that, if you're going pro in the fit model division, you're not going to be competitive in bikini at the pro level. You're not, period. So why would you want to do that? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Right. Um, So a lot of people are asking about the bling. That's another question that came in like 15 times. So the question on the bling thing, bikini also started with no bling. Bikini also started with no connectors. It started with just plain off the rack suits. That's how it started. Okay. And no, you cannot have connectors on your suits. That was a clarification that was made today. No bling, no connectors for a fit model. Okay. That is how bikini began. So I believe they're doing that to make a clear distinction between the two divisions. There are no crossovers at all allowed on the local level in the NPC. They have not stated that on the Pro League yet, but it's also not available in the Pro League until 2026. So I'm sure they will make new rules and clarify criteria as it's available in the Pro League. It's not currently available in the Pro League. Okay. So at the NPC level, if you are doing fit model, you cannot cross over to any other division. So the suits need to be distinctive to show that you are in that division and not others. Pretty self-explanatory right there, which I have no problem with. Personally, just get it, there's 1,000 different suits out there. I'll start making my own version of this particular suit, you know, that kind of thing too. So, let's see. I didn't. You could be right on that, Judith, about the pro qualifiers. If he said that, I missed it. It's possible that you said that there's pro qualifiers. However, you can't compete as a pro in 2025 anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's not gonna affect anything until 2026. Um, yeah, I didn't. Again, if he said it, I missed it. That's, you know, it's very possible. But again, going back to, you're not going to be competing in the pro league until 2026 anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference if there's pro qualifiers this year or not, right? So they got to make some pros before they can actually have it on the pro league. Just saying. You know, you got to have some actual pros in the division before you can offer it in the pro league, right? So, I mean, if they do, even if they do have it this year, you can't compete as a pro until 2026. So, let me see if I can pull up another question. Let's see. Jewelry allowed? Yes, jewelry is allowed. Uh, Won't this division end up evolving like bikini did too? I mean, it might. I mean, I can't say it won't. I mean, bikini started in 2008 and look where it is now. So every single division ever in bodybuilding has evolved, even bodybuilding. I mean, look at Arnold. Arnold wouldn't be competitive in classic today, right? But he used to be Mr. Olympia, you know. So every single division has evolved. That's just what happens. Just what happens. Um, Do I think this will thin the bikini division at all? No, I don't, because I think what's going to happen more than anything is we're going to start seeing the bigger divisions kind of fade. They already have been. We're seeing less and less numbers in figure, less and less numbers in female bodybuilding and women's physique. Those divisions, I believe, over the next 5 years will probably condense down into one, and not by any other reason than people are just going to stop competing in them. The Arnold stopped including those divisions, you know, 3 years ago, because it just didn't bring any money in. At the end of the day, guys, if there's no money being made, they can't put on the shows. Okay, so this is something I wanted to address as well, because people are saying, oh, it's just a money grab for the NPC, blah, 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 blah. First of all, there is nothing wrong with making money in business. That's the first thing. You gotta make money in order to have a business, period. Like, if you don't make money, you don't have a business. Pretty self-explanatory right there. Okay. The reason bikini came in the first place is because there was no money being made in bodybuilding. Zero. Okay. If you think that these promoters are making money hand over fist, you have not been to any bodybuilding shows in the last 2 years. Numbers are down everywhere. Bottom line, numbers are down everywhere. Promoters are dropping shows. They're not making money. You can't pull blood from a stone. You can't do it. They need this entry level division to keep the sport growing and keep the sport alive, period. And that is the number one reason why this division is coming out. The number one reason. There's less and less women doing bodybuilding because they don't want to look like that. I'm just being real. I love being muscular. Don't get me wrong. I love having my physique that I have, but I didn't start out this way. It took me 15 years to get here. Women, just normal women on the streets, we have an obesity epidemic. It's hard enough to get people to even eat right, let alone get on a bodybuilding stage. It's just the facts, you guys. At the end of the day, it's just the facts. Go look at what female bodybuilding looked like when it first started. Rachel McClish would not even place in bikini today, and she was Miss Olympia. She wouldn't even place at an NPC level show. Wouldn't even place. There is a very, very small handful of people that want to look like professional bodybuilders. Very, 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 very small. And you can't run a business based off of that small of a number. You can't. Dollars and cents, you guys. If you want the bigger divisions to stick around, you gotta have smaller ones to feed money in. Sorry, it's the truth. It's the truth. Now, something else has been a complaint. Oh, the show days are already so long. This is going to make it even longer. A, you got one day. One day. You can suck it up for a day. You can suck it up for a day. B, again, if you think that these show days are super long, you haven't been to any shows in the last 2 years. They're not. These NPC shows are lucky to have 100 competitors getting on stage. They break them up into sessions. The men are in the morning, the women are in the afternoon. You're there for 2, 3 hours and you're done. The only shows that are super long are the ones where the promoters aren't running them correctly. There's a handful of shows out there that still get over 200 competitors to show up. A handful. The majority of the shows out there are bringing in 30, 50, 75 athletes total. That's it. Promoters can't even keep the lights on. Sorry. It's the truth. It's the truth. See 3 hours too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, going to this comment here, I love the fit, slightly fuller feminine look. I think this will draw a lot of women. This is still women who work out. This is still women who train. This is still women with muscle, but they have a little bit of body fat too, which is a whole lot prettier on stage. Just being real, you guys. I got that conditioned. It's hard. I don't like the way my face looks when it's all sucked in and gross. Like, just is what it is. Some people love that look. Cool. Like I said, different strokes, different folks. I like myself fuller. I like myself with a little bit of fat on meat on my bones, a little bit of fat, you know? And it's healthy. It's hormonally healthy for us too, right? Just is what it is. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being super lean, but 99% of women out there don't want to be like that. Even the ones that can get the conditioning like that don't want to stay like that year round. We don't feel good that way. Yeah, we want to push ourselves to that extreme to get on stage. It's cool, like it's an awesome achievement and all of that. But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, right? Swimsuit coverage changed. It's the first time where I'm so curious. So again, going back to they want to make this an attainable look. When we're talking about coverage of the bikinis, those of us that are in the bodybuilding world, we don't see anything wrong with thongs. We've been around it, so we look at it like it's no big deal. The normal woman coming in off the street looks at the ass hanging out on stage and says, I don't want to do that. Again, I'm just being real, just being blunt, just being honest. Okay. They don't want to put themselves out there like that. So by giving more coverage, and again, we're not doing full coverage bikinis, they're moderate, right? They're moderate coverage. So by doing a fuller coverage suit, it makes it more achievable and attainable and wanting to do it for the average person. It's so myself as a suit designer and posing coach. I see this all the time. It is so hard for me to look at a girl and say, you have to wear a thong on stage when she's never worn a thong in real life. She's never worn a thong in real life. And all of a sudden, I'm telling her she has to go on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people in a thong. Do you know how scary that is for the normal average person? It's fucking scary. It's scary. So again, this division is meant for the people who are not familiar with the sport and want to push themselves to another level. We can all sit without our tailbone hurting. Exactly. Exactly right. So I already answered the question about people switching over. And the answer is yes, I do think they will. Let me pull up another question. Yes, I will be making suits for this division. They're going to have all of the same heights and age classes as every other division, so masters can do it. Let's see some other questions that I haven't answered. I'm looking through all the questions right now, guys. This one is no questions, just excited. Yeah, I'm excited too. Um, So one of the questions that's constantly coming in is about Ashley having the six-pack abs at the Olympia, and they're saying they don't want etched in abs. If you watch any of Ashley's content, she's talked about how that was her feedback that she actually has too much abs. Even back then, that her etched in abs were too much. She doesn't train abs nowadays in bikini. Now she doesn't train abs. She talks about it, how that was actually something that she got critiqued on, that her abs were too hard, were too etched in. That's something she was critiqued on from the beginning. So yes, Ashley is the standard because that's the Olympia that they want you looking at. They want you looking at the 2015 Olympia, but she had too much. So if you ever watch any of her content, she talks about that. She talks about how her critique was her abs were too etched in, right? Just gonna have to um so new suit options, give me a minute. This is all being flushed out, right? We found out today that there's going to be no connectors on the suits, right? So give us a minute to kind of get through all of this kind of stuff. We will be putting together packages and things like that that are going to include these suits. I've already been going back and forth with my husband about this, kind of trying to figure out how we can do it and offer it. We've got some good ideas, but give us a minute. Give us a minute, right? Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. So again, when it comes to, here's another one about age. Again, you can compete in masters, so you're going to be up against people with the same issues that you have at your age. And like I said, no crossovers, period. No crossovers for this division. Let's see if I've seen any other questions here that I haven't touched on yet. Mm, mm, I think there's little like nuances in these questions, but I think I've got most of the questions answered. And going back to the question that keeps coming up from a bunch of different people is, do I think that other divisions are going to be removed because of this division being added? I don't think that they're going to necessarily be removed. But if there's less and less competitors showing up for those divisions, promoters just aren't going to offer them anymore. You got to remember that they got to pay for sanction fees. Um, Especially when we're talking about the pro league, right? If they don't have pros showing up and actually competing in their shows, they're not going to pay this three, four, five, six, seven, $10,000 for these sanction fees. They're not gonna make any money. They're losing money. They're losing money hand over fist with those divisions. So if the division's going to stick around, it's because people are competing in them. If the division disappears, it's because nobody's competing in them. It's really easy math, right? I agree that the no crossover rule was very smart because now we're not going to have any issues with people saying, well, that girl just won in fit model and now she won in bikini, so blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. They're eliminating that, right? Um, Other questions? Do you think there's been hate on this new division? I heard things like there's a reason bodybuilding is so tough. Yeah, people are always just listen. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a little story, you guys. Let's story time. Story time with Shawn. Ready? I've had some energy drink right here, so I'm a little fired up right now. Just a little. So story time with Shawn right now. Okay, I have been I have been defending bikini girls since I started in bikini against these old school bodybuilders, right? Um, they don't even get on stage anymore. They're just freaking sticks in the mud that sit behind their computer screens and type, right? So, no, I'm not showing your muscle. This is not a time for any of that shit. So if you comment again like that, I'm removing you from my live feed. Anyway, um, this is nothing new. Okay. Bikini girls have been getting shit on since the beginning of bikini. Okay. But the bottom line is they're getting shit on by guys who sit behind their computers with their beer in their hand, in one hand, and their cheeseburger in the other, and never get on a fucking bodybuilding stage to begin with. So shut the fuck up. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. All right. At the end of the day, if you guys if you guys want to keep seeing your big, huge, muscly dudes on stage with oil and all that kind of thongs and shit, which I appreciate the big dudes too. I appreciate the open bodybuilding. If you want to keep seeing them, you're gonna have to deal with those of us that are not big and muscly like that. You're just gonna have to deal with us because we're the ones that pay your bills. Okay? Everything starts at the NPC level. Everything starts at the NPC level. If the promoters are not making money, we have no shows. If we have no shows, we're not creating any more open bodybuilders, period. If there's no place for them to compete, we're not creating bodybuilders. If you want your open bodybuilders to survive, you have to make sure that these local level shows can survive, period. That's it. So you can hate on the division all you want. Don't fucking watch it. That's it. Real simple. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. As you were just saying here, Belinda, you're right. As a female, being muscular at all as a female is incredibly difficult to do. It is incredibly difficult to do. It takes time, dedication, consistency over years. Okay. We don't have the level of testosterone that men do. It is very, very difficult for us to maintain that. Very, very difficult. Okay. So anyone that can sit there and say that we don't work hard, we don't do this, we don't do that, shut the fuck up. That's it. Sorry. Just being real. Again, lots of F bombs. It is what it is. Y'all know me. When I get on my little rants, y'all know me. I personally wish that this had happened years ago. I personally wish this had happened years ago. Because again, what it does is it gives women something. It gives us something to work towards. Right? Not everyone wants to be a professional bodybuilder. Not everyone wants to be an IFBB pro, but they want to have an opportunity to get on stage and showcase their hard work and get some trophies and say, look at my say to your kids, look at what your mom just did, stuff like that. Like this gives us an opportunity to do that. This gives us an opportunity to do that. It's that simple. It's that simple. I made this comment earlier too, like you would never expect a guy who's a football player to just automatically start in the NFL. Doesn't happen. You got to have something that leads them up to that. You got to have Pee Wee football. You got to have high school football. You got to have college football. It's the same thing here. If girls want to be in the IFBB Pro League and they want to go to the Olympia and they want to do all that, they got to start someplace. This is the place for them to start. This is the place for them to start. That's it. That's it. It's really simple. You got to give them someplace to actually get on stage and compete and see if they even like doing this. Right? That is so true. They'll say that men can't even handle a cold, right? I was just talking about this, right? When women get sick, what do? We throw back some vitamin C and we just get up and do what we got to do. Men act like the world is just freaking falling in and they go freaking have to stay in bed for 5 days. Like, whatever. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is like the hate that's coming for this division are from people that don't even get on fucking stage, or if they do, they're not even getting on the same stage that the fit model girls are going to be getting onto. So what? Who cares? If you're not going to be a part of the division, who cares? Why does it affect you? It doesn't. If anything, it brings more money into the sport, which is going to help you in other divisions. That's all it's ever gonna do. But like I said in a post earlier, it's like no good deed goes unpunished, man. You can't see the forest through the trees. If you don't have a profitable business, you don't have bodybuilding. Bottom line. Bottom line. No, it doesn't affect them. Any questions, you guys? Any other questions? So, and again, going back to, the posing is going to be old school posing, which I personally also love because that stallion pose for me, again, you guys, if you've followed me at all, you know that I have super long legs. So for me, the stallion pose is actually more flattering than the other pose. It helps to put my body in a better proportion. Uh, it's just, it is what it is. Like it cuts my legs down a little bit. So for me, it's a great pose. So that gives that opportunity. I was one of the last pros to still have that in my routine and to still do it in comparisons. I was one of the last ones to do it. Um, so again, they're differentiating between the two divisions, between bikini and between fit model. Um, so, that's it. It's gonna be different posing, different suits. And of course, as the division kind of gets its legs, it's going to evolve, just like anything else. It's gonna evolve, right? So we're gonna see things change, we're gonna see things come out a little differently, all that kind of stuff. In general, though, it's going to be a feeder system into the bigger divisions. That's what bikini started out as. When I first started in bikini, it was enormous. Enormous. There were 50 girls in a class, and I'm not joking. Like, it was 50 girls in a class at a show, right? And then those girls, as they grew, moved up into figure, moved up, like, that's how you progress. That's how it works, right? So, yeah, other questions? Other questions? I personally am so excited about this particular division. I wish it would have happened years ago. Like I said, I wish we would have started this years ago. I have seen the decline of competitor numbers over the last few years. I've seen people get frustrated. I've worked with the competitors who just feel like they just cannot get to where they need to get to in order to be competitive because they don't want to take the drugs and they don't have the genetics. And if you don't, you don't. There's nothing you can do about that, right? This particular division will open it up to those people who were frustrated and they no longer will have to be frustrated. They will have a place to compete and be competitive and maybe bring some new money into the sport and maybe bring some new sponsors into the sport. Just saying. I feel like we covered everything. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I missed as far as coverage is concerned. But like I said, I'm not surprised on the hate. Old sticks in the mud is what it is. I'm surprised. Been dealing with it since bikini first started and will continue to deal with it. But who the fuck cares? They're not getting on a fit model stage. Who cares? Who cares? Let them hate. Haters gonna hate, right? So I'm excited for 2025. And again, I know that we're gonna see some more criteria details come out and things like that. Things will be clarified. Like I said, we just got the clarification today. No connectors on the suits, just plain bikinis. Um, if you go and you look back at bikini in, 2018, or I'm sorry, 2008, 2009, that kind of thing, all of the suits back then were all plain. They literally were just bought off of, websites online, stuff like that. So they're just trying to make this more of a model division, something that, you still have to be an athlete for, but you don't have to push to an extreme. That somebody with a decent base of muscle can compete in and push themselves a little bit harder in order to be competitive, but don't have to be, a 5-year bodybuilder before you can actually get on stage as a female. Sponsors, money, coaching, your suit company, think about the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to bring so many new faces into the sport. So many new faces, and old faces are gonna come back. I've seen so many girls that competed in my era being like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to come back on stage." So many of them. Yeah, and again, going back to you still have to work hard, right? You still have to work super hard. I was saying this about myself. I'm like, before I can compete in this, it's gonna be 2026 before I can compete in this. So it's 2 years, in that time frame, I'm still gonna work on building my glutes because I'm still gonna get 2 years older. So I still gotta work on like fighting against the aging process and all of that. The it's just part of it. A lot of people feel like they're getting aged out. This will help women stay competitive longer because we don't have to drop down to super low body fat levels in order to get those hamstrings to pop. That is a hormonal killer for a lot of women. For some women, they're fine genetically. Again, the genetic elite, they can do this shit. Those of us that don't have those elite genetics, on the other hand, we need a little help. Let me keep a little body fat. you know let me let that ass shake a little bit more, right? Like, it just is what it is. We're women, we need to have fat on our booties. We do. Part of our endocrine system. It just is what it is, right? So, you know is what it is. So guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel here, because we are going to have a lot to talk about this coming year as we do this. um It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited to see how this evolves. I'm excited to see who this brings into the sport. I'm excited to see how this grows the sport. And I'm excited to see how this changes the pro league too as we go into 2026. I think it's gonna make just gonna make it's just gonna be better all the way around. It's gonna be better all the way around. It really is. I know so many girls that have messaged me that are like, "Oh my God, I feel like I can come back to the stage now." I can't even tell you how many women I've been in this sport for 15 years. I can't even tell you how many women that I've worked with in the last 15 years that have messaged me in the last 24 hours that have said, "I want to come back. I want to come back and do this again." That is exciting, you guys. That's exciting. I can't wait. Mm. There's all the same categories and divisions, all the same breakdown. Yeah, I did answer that. Um, that's still that's it. For those of you ladies that are coming to CCTS 2025, aren't you lucky? You got the OG bikini girl right here in the house. So I'll be there. Jessica Wilson, she was an OG bikini girl too. Who else that's coming that was OG bikini? So me and Jessica. Is that it? I think that's it. Vanya wasn't. Um, Amy wasn't. Hannah, I think, might have been. Hannah's coming. Jamie was old school. Well, she was figure, but she was still around during that era. Um, I mean, Julia was around in figure though. Not really though. Actually, Julia wasn't old school. She still was figure anyway. Trying to think who else. No, I think that's everyone. So me and Jessica for sure. We were both old school bikini. Jessica was probably one of the last people to take the stallion pose out of her routine. Probably the last. Jessica Wilson, she's probably the last. Yeah, it's so you those of you coming, you got the knowledge right in front. You're gonna be the first ones in 2025 to have hands-on experience with this particular division. So I'm excited about that. So um if you didn't see it in the WhatsApp group, we are doing that Monday seminar, and we're going to put a focal point onto this particular division too for that Monday seminar. So if you didn't sign up for the Monday seminar at CCTS, please do. There are tickets available for that. Put the link into the WhatsApp group for those of you that are coming. And I think that's everything. So um, we're going to try to get another behind the bikini out before Christmas. I don't know about getting a live feed out. The next couple of weeks are extremely, extremely busy with the holidays, and then also CCTS prep because we are just a few weeks out from that. And then we just hit the ground running for the year. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. So um, she was Hannah. I'm looking at your comment, Maya. Yeah. Um, so that's good. That's good. 'Cause she'll be there too. She'll be at CCTS as well. So that's good. So we have at least 3 OG bikini girls, and then we've got Jamie, who was again not a bikini girl, but she was around during that time. So you got 4 old school girls at CCTS this year. So that's good. We did not plan it, but thank God. Right? Like I knew sticking around for 15 years was going to help me out some way or another. Oh Lord, you guys. Yeah, this was an exciting announcement. I expect they'll probably do something similar for the men. If it's not coming up soon, it'll be coming, I'm sure. 'Cause the same thing with the men's physique. It was supposed to be a beach body too. So I'm sure they'll have something coming out for men as well. And that's it. That's it, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But again, drop them in the comments. I'll put this live feed out on my Instagram, but also live feed here on YouTube would probably be better to drop in the comments as far as me getting back to you and responding to you. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the new division. Let me know if you're excited to do it. If you're thinking of trying it, I would do it. And here's something else that you could think about too. Here's just a thought that came into my head. Right? Let's say you still want to stick with bikini. You can do fit model when you're a month out from your show. Do fit model in a month out from your show. Continue to diet down and dial in that last month and go do bikini. And see which one you like better. There you go. So you're not crossing over in the same show. It's 2 very different looks, and you can see which one you do better in, which one you like better. If you like pushing yourself to a little bit more of an extreme, or maybe your muscle fits a little bit better in bikini, boom, there you go. You're good. If not, and you want to stay in fit model, there you go. You got that option too. Real easy. Real easy. So think about it that way too. Gives you the opportunity to push a little harder if you want. Just all the way around, gives you the opportunity to push. If you're a lifestyle client, you want to get on stage, gives you the opportunity to push for that. Right? Yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time, just like anything else. Like the amateur look and fit model will probably look quite a bit different than pro. But again, go back and look at the 20. Oh, I did. Hold on, before I log out, I did pull those pictures up from the 2015 Olympia of the first call out. So let me pull those up real quick. Um, Here we go. So there you go. There's your first call out. See if I can expand that. There you go. I'll get rid of the chat overlay. Okay. There's your first call out for the Olympia 2015. So this is small on my screen. Let me pull it up so I can tell you who's actually in it. So you got Narman, Stacey Alexander, I think, right? Courtney, Janet, India, and Ashley. Right? That was your first call out right there. So they all started here and they all moved up. Right? They all moved up as the criteria evolved. And then we got back pose 2. Here is the back pose. So as you can see here, the back pose is very similar. This is back when they did the cross leg pose as well. So we have a couple of the girls doing that. But you can see they have very, very faint hamstrings there, right? They're just starting to dial in if you were bikini today, right? Just starting to dial in if you're bikini today. I would say Janet's probably the leanest one there. Which she was super lean when she won the Olympia finally, right? And I would say Janet probably has the biggest glutes here too, right? Ashley does not. Ashley is probably one of the smaller glutes here, surprisingly enough. But she's got that fullness and that roundness. Okay. So again, very, very faint when it comes to the definition in the back, just high, tight, round. Beautiful look. It's a beautiful look. Okay. All right, guys. That's it. We'll let y'all go and start making some wheels turn in your head, right? Think you want to do this? give it a try. Why not? Right? Okay, guys, have a great night. We'll see you back here next time. I'm going to end out Instagram first. And then